So here we have Steve and Brockie, the winner of Materia Cup in Cardiff. So what did you play today?
So I played pretty general Soiree, but my main difference was I was playing slight Kirin variant. So good part about this is it gives me dual aggro options with Kirin, Cecil, and pretty easy ways to get Warrior of Light out, which in certain matchups is just an instant win, especially against things like Winds, because they just don't want to pay the 2 extra for the Cecil. And against James in the final, playing the Kirin into Warrior Light just instantly shut them down. 2 brave boys, one of them impossibly hard to get rid of because the first strike was just game winning.
Yeah, that was against Final Fantasy 6, so 10k is really difficult to get rid of. So now we basically also heard the reason why you actually offered this deck, and this whole weekend, what were your matchups during Saturday, the Swiss rounds?
So I was quite lucky. In the first 7 rounds, I only played against 2 Soirees, and the rest was like one deck. And the first Soiree I played against was against my teammate Michael from YYT, and we both opened very well. We almost like mirrored each other's plays, and by the end of it we were counting each other, and then I just had more haste and a little bit more removal and just took the game. And funnily enough, he went X1 in Swiss, so I was his only loss. So he helped my tiebreakers and I helped his tiebreakers. Everything else was just a random assortment. There was some Warriors of Light, there was like mono, water, stuff like that.
And from all the matchups that we heard, were there any difficult to deal with?
Well, strangely enough, Soiree has a very high level of EXs, so we practiced a lot against Final Fantasy 13 because of how aggro it is, and we won like 80-90% of the time just through good EXs. But I went against Final Fantasy 13 and Swiss, and they absolutely got the nuts. Turn 1 and 2, dealt some damage. I dealt with that, got rid of the board, then they nutted again, got the board out, and then I was like, okay, I hit Tyro and damage, searched the Susano, and I was going to deal with it. But then out of nowhere they played 2-cost Belias to give their Fang haste and kill me, and I was just like, well, next round, like I can't really do much to that.
So now we're gonna see the deck profile. We see a lot of one-offs, so would you care to explain?
So most Soiree decks are about 80% similar. They all have like almost the exact same backups, maybe 1 or 2 different, where a lot of people go down to 2 Tyro and maybe play 2 Toto, or some people might put in a small chance Luca because they expect the mirror match, but it's very unlikely. So the backups are pretty standard. You only need 1 Lexa because a lot of the time you're going to search it from Amber.
Yes.
And it's not overly necessary in most matchups, but it is good tech. Everything else is pretty much either completely necessary. This, obviously, colour fixes. This is the main searcher. This kills stuff. EX searchers.
Yes.
The 1 costs, the fact that I'm playing Kirin means that I dig through 5 cards. I have 18 4 costs, and having so much name diversity means that Kirin is almost always live. Even if I have like 2 or 3 4 costs on board, I should theoretically hit almost every time. Although I missed once today with it in top 4, but it didn't matter, I was already too far ahead. Sophie is by far the best one-off in the deck. It deals with bad matchups like Ice Earth, gets rid of like Scale Toads, gets rid of Biblos, and then in mono wins, it deals with Atmos. Also, it has the ability to go haste and just add for that added pressure. Second best card is probably Gilgamesh. No one expects it, and it just comes out of nowhere when you're on damage 3. It has a very easy removal because you can just simply remove Warrior Light to kill a 4 cost or less, and then it's got double attack and brave.
Yes.
So to go from, I'll give you an example. You'll set up your backups, your opponent's got 2 forwards, you play Warrior Light, stand everything, draw. You play this, remove, kill a guy, you play Merald, kill another guy, and you've got 4 attacks, and you've just went from 3 damage to 7 damage and killed 2. It's very easy kills.
So now we heard how you deal with them, and the deck, the idea, and the one-offs. Is there any changes you would want to do?
So I mulled over it quite a lot just before we came down, and there was 1 card I wanted to add, and it was the new 4 cost Alexander that deals with, like, say 5 cost or higher or monsters. But the only cards I was really scared of was things like 5 cost Yuffie and Wind, because I have almost no interaction during their turn outside of Cactar. but it was fine. Like, having this on board, hard counters, and then if they push the damage and you get this on damage 5, then you can basically kill with this. This becomes too big for them to deal with, and this trades like any of the 8Ks trade, so it was easy enough. Plus I had enough like actual board wipe type things or single like removal that was fair enough to like beat bad matchups.
So thank you for the deck profile. Are there any last words you want to say?
Nah, not really. Just hope that if anyone wants to try out the deck, see what sort of tech they can come up with, and hopefully it influences my choices next time.
Okay, so thank you for the deck profile and congrats again for winning the Materia Cup Cardiff.
Cheers.